Welcome to Box Recaps. Today I'm going to explain the movie Immortal, released in the year 2004. The movie starts and we're taken to New York City. We see that during the late 21st century, genetically altered humans live side by side with aliens and other beings, with the former lording over the latter and treating them as second-class citizens. We're then taken to a lab, where we get to see a humanoid named Jill, who's been created with a mixture of alien blood. She's sick of being there and tries to run away, only to get caught by the guards, who take her back inside right away. We learn that these beings have come to Earth as refugees via the Inclusion Zone, a mysterious vortex which appeared mysteriously one day, encompassing Central Park and sealing it off. The force field allows the refugees to exit, but anyone who tries to enter is instantly killed. We then see a strange pyramid appear in the city. Within, the gods of ancient Egypt discuss their fellow god Horus and conclude that his rebellious antics are unacceptable and must be punished, sentencing him to lose his immortality and summarily be executed. They grant Horus 7 days to look upon his creation and inform him that the only way to save himself is to reincarnate in a new body. However, the only way to do this is to find and mate with a compatible woman capable of carrying a god's child, a trait which is extremely rare. The kid that is born through that mate is going to be Horus's rebirth in actuality. Horus has the body of a human, but his face is that of a falcon. He then tells his 2 subordinates to find a mate for him. They have to find a woman who can deal with his powers, because no common woman can ever deal with his powers. We then get to see Jill and learn what she's capable of. She seems like an adult woman with blue hair and a fey countenance, is captured by agents of the all-powerful corrupt eugenics company that controls much of the government and private sector, who kidnap the alien refugees to experiment on them. She is humanoid in appearance, but not quite human. Her tears are blue and stain her pure white skin. And upon being examined by the company's scientists, it is discovered that her body's cells are no more than a few weeks old, despite looking and acting like a fully grown adult. Unbeknownst to the scientists, Jill is a bioengineered being, explaining her human-like appearance and unusual paranormal abilities. Jill does not know or remember anything about her past. After that, we see on the news that this pyramid is being called a gateway to the other worlds by many people in the country. The news reporter also goes on to say that there's a serial killer in the city, adding that 4 people have been killed so far. We then see another murder happening, and the police arrive. We are introduced to an officer named Freebie, who's heading the investigation, and after investigating the crime scene, he finds an eyewitness as well. They decide to take the eyewitness with them to the office, but when they're on their way, the car gets out of control and crashes near a club. The police officers get killed in this crash, but the eyewitness is safe. He gets out of the car and simply leaves. Another officer tells Freebie that this must be the doing of an alien, but Freebie does not at all like his hypothesis. On the other hand, we see Jill, who's currently being inspected by Dr. Elma, and she goes on to tell her that her lifespan is 20 years, adding that all her memories have been erased. It is then revealed that Jill is much more powerful than the other human beings. She has many different abilities, and one of these abilities is the aforementioned capacity to procreate with gods. But she is unaware of this, nor is she aware that she was created explicitly for this purpose. Her genome is rapidly adapting and changing into that of a regular human, with the trade-off being that she will lose all memories of her former self once the transformation is complete. Dr. Elma, however, sees that Jill is miserable there, and she feels really bad for her. She goes on to put a device on her face and tells her that she's going to help her escape. She gives her a card which Jill can use to go anywhere, and when Jill is out of there, she meets a man named John, who goes on to tell her that the atmosphere of this planet is not good for her, so she's going to have to move to another one. When Jill hears about another planet, Jill gets sad, and she has blue tears in her eyes. The only person Jill knows is John. The scene changes, and we see the police officers inspecting a scene where a prisoner has escaped, while the others have been killed. It turns out to be an accident. The police officers are then attacked, and the people attacking them right away take away the prisoners' bodies. This is when we see the senator, who is approached by a police officer. The police officer goes on to give him a shoe, adding that this shoe belongs to the prisoner who has managed to get away. The prisoner who got away is then shown. He is in a really bad condition, and it turns out he was caught by Horace after the accident. Horace then goes on to possess his body and tells him that he tried possessing the bodies of 5 people before him, but it did not work, and all 5 of them died. He tells the prisoner that his body seems to be strong and different. This is how it is revealed that Horace is the one responsible for all the murders in the city. Horace sees that Nicopol's foot is badly wounded, so he tries to treat his foot with metal. Nicopol gets scared and tries to run away, but his foot is so heavy that he can barely move. Horace then goes on to enter his body, and the scene changes to Jill. She takes a blue tablet given to her by John. In the meantime, Nicopol, who is now possessed by Horace, is being chased by the police. He tries to run away and ends up jumping off a building. This is when Horace opens his wings and starts flying. On the other hand, the senator now recognizes the shoe, saying this belongs to Nicopol. Senator is worried at this realization because he and Nicopol's dad used to take part in many illegal activities, and the activities we saw at the beginning of the movie in the lab, they're all illegal, and the senator is the one behind all that. Nicopol got to learn about their activities, so they were scared that he might rat them out, which is why they ended up putting Nicopol behind the bars. The senator says that they're going to have to kill Nicopol at any cost. We then see Nicopol going to a bar, and Horace, who's now inside his body, goes on to tell him that a blue-haired girl is going to come in the bar, adding that they're going to have to talk to her. They are, of course, talking about Jill. The scene, however, changes to Jill, who is currently wearing a spacesuit, and goes on to see John in space. It is revealed that John is an alien. John also has a hand in the creation of Jill, and that's why she knows only John. Jill is then told by John that he's going to leave the Earth soon, and she's going to be on her own. Jill gets panicked hearing this, but John tries to keep her calm, saying she can make do on her own. He tells her that the blue tablet she takes, it's going to help her forget her past fully. He then goes on to tell her to live like a normal human being if she wants to survive on Earth. Jill then makes her way to the club. She's then seen talking to Nicopol, who is actually Horace. Nicopol keeps talking to her, and in the meantime, we see that he's being seen by a man who seems like an officer, and the man is videotaping him as well. Nicopol then offers Jill to take her home, but she goes on to refuse. Horace, however, says that she's going to have to do it at any cost, and then hypnotizes her. Jill then says nothing, and the next thing we see, they're entering the same car. The person recording them also gets in his car and drives away. This is when we see a creature. It is an alien, and it is terrifying. This alien has actually been sent by the senator to kill Nicopol. He then takes the tape from the other man and kills him. In the meantime, Horace, who has now hypnotized Jill, he goes on to have sex with her because he thinks she's the woman who can bear his child. When Jill wakes up the next morning, she sees Nicopol sitting in her bathtub. She's not hypnotized anymore, so she goes on to tell him to get out of there. When he does not listen to her, she takes out a gun and demands he leave right away. And after that, Jill makes her way to the lab to see Dr. Elma. She tells the doctor about Nicopol. The doctor then goes on to ask Jill if she ever had sex before with anyone else. Jill says that she does not remember anything from her past anymore. The only thing she happens to remember is that she knows John. Jill then goes on to show the doctor the blue tablet she always takes, and Dr. Elma decides to test the tablet in her lab. On the other hand, the alien goes to see the senator, and goes on to give him the recording of Jill and Nicopol, which was taped by another man when they were at the club last night. The senator gets pissed off at the alien, adding that this man is Nicopol, and the alien was supposed to kill him. They also go on to talk about the girl with Nicopol, Jill. The senator asks who is that girl, and a lab scientist there tells him that she's a humanoid who has spent a lot of time at a lab. They then order the alien to catch Jill. The next thing we see, Jill is tied to a bench, and she's being tortured by the people around her, who want to know who that man is to her. They keep asking her about Nicopol. We also see that horrifying alien among them, and he's also torturing her. This is when Horace shows up. He goes on to attack them all, and beats the crap out of them. He takes Jill back to her hotel after that. Jill then makes her way to the Inclusive Zone. This is a place which is called the gateway to the other worlds, as all the aliens can travel through this gate to their worlds. However, humans and all the other creatures are of course prohibited to use this gate. Even if they tried entering the inclusive zone, they will not survive it, so humans stay away from it. When Jill is there, she's approached by John, who tells her about the gate. He tells her that he came from this zone, and he will be going back from this zone, and after that, this zone will be blocked as well. We then see Dr. Elma at the reception of the hotel Jill is staying at. She goes on to talk about Jill with the manager at the reception, and this is when she sees John too. John is there to drop Jill at the hotel. We then see Officer Freebie also there, as he's there to catch Jill so that they can extract information about Nicopol out of her. When he hears Alma talking about Jill, he asks her to help him find her. The scene then changes to the senator, who goes to one of his creatures. This is a creature that has been said to have gone extinct 30 years ago, but the senator has been keeping it locked for himself. This creature is called Kreia. The next day, we see Jill and Nicopol sitting in the bathtub together when they're attacked by Kreia. They, however, manage to get out of there just in time, and to their good luck, John gets there to save them. They sit in his flying car, and just as they're about to fly away, the creature grabs the car from behind. However, the car is too powerful, and Kreia ends up breaking his hand. They make their way to the inclusive zone, because John has to leave from there. On the other hand, Dr. Alma gets to Jill's room along with Freebie and his team. There they find Kreia's broken hand. Now John's car is being followed by both the police and Kreia. They, however, manage to get safely to the inclusive zone. On the other hand, the senator makes his way to the Pyramid of Horus. He thinks that since he has been experimenting on the aliens for many years, they might have come down to take their revenge on him. He decides that he's going to talk to the aliens, but the moment he touches the pyramid, he just disappears. When John is about to leave, he goes on to give Jill a red tablet this time. He tells her that once she takes this tablet, she will turn into a human being. On the other hand, Kreia is just about to attack Nicopol when he of course gets scared for his life and tells Horus inside his body to kill the creature. Horus right away gets out and goes on to finish off the deadly creature. John then says goodbye to a very sad Jill and leaves. On the other hand, Horus's pyramid shows up there and the senator falls out of it. He's already dead because he dared to touch Horus's pyramid. Horus then goes on to say that he's done there, since he has impregnated Jill. He thanks Nicopol for helping him, and then goes on to give him some powers so that he's able to use the metal leg given to him by Horus. When he's just about to leave, he goes to Jill and thanks her for everything too. She of course has a blank expression on her face because she does not know anything. He then tells her that she has a very special thing with her that actually belongs to him. He tells Jill to take good care of it. Horus leaves, and Nicopol is arrested because he still has one more year left on his sentence. A year later, Nicopol bumps into a now fully human Jill in Paris with her new baby, a blue falcon who Jill describes as cheeky. She does not remember him, but the two strike up a conversation, hinting that they may one day rekindle their romance. As the film ends, the camera pans up to the pyramid ship where Horus is entombed in a sarcophagus, a glimmer of light flashing in his eyes. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.